Hello, everyone. I have Lisa Patten with me today, and we've got up very early in the morning to do this. And Lisa and I don't know if you can see in her background, there's a shelf with heaps and heaps of different essential oils, and that's how we met. She knows somebody who was helping out my mum, and my mum was telling me about this lady she'd met who did Young Living, and I was like, "What? I have to know this person." So I whizzed around to Lisa's place and smelt all her oils, and basically we've been really good friends ever since. A couple of crazy aromatherapy people. Yeah.
That's right.
And Lisa is very experienced with aromatherapy. She has lots of amazing things that she has going on. But welcome, Lisa.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's great. It's great. I can't wait to get into this conversation actually, because um, I've always loved oils, but you are really the one who put me on to going chemical free in the house.
Yeah.
So it would be great for people to know how you got into aromatherapy and what your journey with this has been. So can you sort of share that?
So I suppose I don't really classify myself as into aromatherapy. I kind of just love oils. Um, I accidentally found them. I was a dog groomer. I'd been a dog groomer for about going on 5.5, 6 years. And I had actually a reputation for being a dog groomer that dealt with really difficult dogs. And I sort of just get an innate sense with an animal. Some dogs are just super grumpy because they think they're the boss and don't want you to groom them. And other dogs are just absolutely terrified. So, and I
Mm.
seem to be able to read that and sort of work with them accordingly. But I had this one dog I just could not get anywhere near. A couple of strips down its back, it would start screaming. And it was a cavoodle. It was in for being groomed every 6 weeks or every 8 weeks for the rest of its life. So, and I tried everything. I tried rescue remedy. I even tried sitting in the car and doing the meditation before I went in because I realized that sometimes my energy affects the dog's energy. So
Yeah.
maybe that's it. And I'm thinking, I'm dreading this dog. But so I've tried everything I could think of with this dog. And then I went to the Albury Psychic Fair, um, and this lady said to me, I was one of the stalls there, and she said to me, "Oh, try my oil." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." I smelled the oil. It was a bottle called Stress Away, and I just love it. It's a combination of lime and vanilla, and it's just beautiful. My two favorite smells. And I thought, well, I'll buy the bottle anyway. I really didn't have high hopes. But a couple of weeks later, I had this dog, and I thought, oh, that's right. I had this bottle of oil. So I shot off to Kmart, bought a little $5 diffuser, put it in my trailer, and I put a couple of drops of Stress Away. And then I grabbed this dog, and I managed to clip the entire dog down to the elbows. So without a noise. The owner actually came out to the trailer to see what I'd done with the dog. And she's like, "What have you done to my dog?" And I was like, "I have no idea." And I was like, "This is trippy," because
Yeah.
I'd been working with this dog almost a year and nothing worked. And I thought, there's something in these oils. So I started investigating Young Living, and
Yeah.
I started gathering the smells. So as you can see, I gather the smells. But I suppose, yeah, that's probably how I started in Young Living. That's how I started using oils. And then the education came after that. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was the dog grooming first, and then it was just a sort of a slower transition, although I don't know that you do anything slowly, do you?
I try not to. I try to move with the flow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Um, yeah, so in terms of so you use the essential oils in the house for mood as well as
Yeah. I suppose, like you say, I don't do anything slow. So within the first week of using that stress away and getting it, I'd already organised a meeting with the lady who sold it to me, um, education on all these different oils and what they do.
Mm.
So straight away, I had diffusers running in my house. Um, and yeah, and I suppose there's a bit of a side story to this because at the same time, I had just I just got married. So the 8 months leading up to our wedding, I had been chronically dieting. I lost almost 20 kilos. I was working
Wow.
a 70-hour week in the dog grooming trailer, and my husband decided that a month out from the wedding, it'd be a really great idea to climb Mount Bogon. So, in all my ignorance, I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't realize it was going to absolutely strip my body of the last reserves I ever had left. And I actually went into adrenal failure. So after the
Oh.
wedding, when I stopped, because we took, excuse my dog, um, um, after the wedding, when I actually slowed down, I collapsed. I ended up getting a lump on my lip, which they thought was a cold sore. Then they thought it was an infected cold sore. Then they did a biopsy on it. And they decided it was cancerous. So then came all the chemotherapy cream that they were putting on it, which actually made it spread to the whole lower half of my face. Um, and
Oh.
then I said to the dermatologist, I can't keep doing this cream. This is nasty. And she's like, no, just persevere. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. I turned up at her office and she saw my face and she's like, oh no, don't do that. Um, like we need to stop. So another month of sloughing all the actual old skin off that this chemo cream had basically killed. Yeah. And then once she had managed to slough that all off, like in painstaking
Oh.
processes, she did another biopsy and turned out that I had now got pemphigus. So pemphigus is an autoimmune disease that attacks the mucous membranes of your body. So I was very lucky it started in my mouth or in my I still have it constantly in my throat. It
Yeah.
ebbs and flows, but I was very lucky that I caught it when we did. But that was purely from adrenal fatigue and absolutely pushing my body to the limit.
Yeah.
Then everywhere I read, when you're looking at these chemical, all these natural things, they're saying that all these things are chemical buildup, and so and Young Living have the most amazing cleaning range. That as much as I have oils here, and I have oils for all sorts, my cleaning is what I use Young Living for every month. I just that's that is my that's my non-negotiable with Young Living is the cleaning products.
So have you noticed a difference since you've been since you've gone sort of chemical free with the cleaners and things?
100%. So um, I used the oils originally to support my immune system.
Yeah.
So specific oils, Northern Lights black spruce, peppermint. I used peppermint on my lip. It helped heal it. Massive lip lavender on my lip. It did more for me. Peppermint and lavender did more for my skin in a month than every doctor had done for me in 6 months. So,
Wow.
and I walked around with a ginormous cold sore on the entire bottom of my lip for almost a year. And I feel sorry for me, but my husband had to look at me. So I kind of feel a little bit sorry for him.
That's
He often
love.
talks about the kissless year.
Oh no.
But yeah. And
Wow.
that was I can remember going to a Echuca one Mother's Day and everybody being given a glass to try their port and they wouldn't even give me a glass. It was just, and I feel for people that have, you know, really obvious kind of illnesses like that. It's, yeah. Mm.
Mm. The big
But
black mark.
yes. But there came education and there came knowledge. And since then, I found out that synthetic buildup in your life is just such a bad thing, and it's getting that out of my house has changed the life of not only me, but my husband and our family and even our dogs,
Yeah.
it's just, yeah.
How do you use the oils with your dogs?
Oh, lots of ways. So
Tell us, tell us.
straight away, the cleaning, like when you use spray and wipe and I was a candle freak. Like back in the day, I'd bleach everything and I'd have candles burning in every room and I'd be smelling the smells going,
Mm,
oh, everything smells so clean and fresh and really fragrant washing powders and I and I always thought smell equals clean,
yeah.
and that is such a fallacy. It's so wrong. um, Actually, we have to get used to not having smells so strongly in our homes. It's as soon as you walk down, as soon as I walk down the cleaning aisle, I splitting
Oh,
headache. It's just instant. Washing powders. My daughter came and stayed for a couple of days, and the smell from her washing powder, I almost had migraines. It was like shocking.
wow.
So getting rid of fragrance, getting out of your house, that was a huge one. And when you think about it, you clean your floors with, Pine Clean or a bit of bleach or Domestos or whatever you're cleaning your floors with. Your pets walk on that. We have cats, we have dogs, they walk on that. The cats lick their paws. They are licking Domestos or Pine Clean straight into their body. You know, the rates for cancer are ginormous for animals, you know,
Mm,
and it's a lot of it is to do with the products that we have. They sit in our washing that has fragrance on them, like it's just leaching. So that was the first thing, is getting rid of Thieves Cleaner, substituted everything. That one bottle of Thieves Cleaner.
so they have a nice fragrance though.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
so what's the difference between the fragrance in the things in the supermarket and the fragrance in
It's not
Thieves?
it's not synthetic.
Yeah.
So and that's the word, it's synthetic. So um man-made stuff is just not good for us. It's, if you can eat whole foods, it's better for us. If you can, eat an orange versus, you know, take a vitamin C pill that tastes orange, I mean,
Yeah.
that it's the comparison is right there. And
Mm,
when we eat an orange, we have the fiber. So it's the same with our cleaners and with our products in our homes. They do not disclose what's in them. They have, tetra. I don't
yeah,
even know.
that's right. Cannot understand it.
That's right. But they don't even need to disclose it. They put it down as a recipe. Half the products don't even have. And I think we all, well, I did especially in the beginning when I went to the supermarket, I did that with the understanding that all these products are safe for our consumption. They wouldn't be on a shelf if they weren't safe for our consumption. And unfortunately, there is no such testing. There's no such accountability. I've
Mm,
made this new product. Let's throw it in. There was triclosan. It got a really bad rap about 5 years ago. Everybody started being aware of triclosan. And they were like, oh, it's in hand sanitizers, it's in this, it's in that. Triclosan is only used in America, in Australia and New Zealand now. Every other country in the world has banned it except for Clean Green New Zealand and Australia. And lo and behold, when triclosan got a really bad rap, they took it off the market. They rebranded it as Microban and reintroduced it to 2,000 new products. It's even in paint.
oh,
So, and now it's like antibacterial free paint. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the same product rebranded
so
with
no care and responsibility for
zero,
us. Yeah.
zero. There is nothing,
Mm,
and as consumers, we're just sitting blind. We just have this blind faith in the process of products, and there is no accountability. There's no respect. There's, you know,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, we were actually raised to trust that we would be taken care of and guided, and
yeah, yeah,
it's definitely not the case. We've certainly seen that in so many ways in recent years. We have
yeah,
to be self-aware and responsible for our own health and well-being.
yeah. And I really think you need to start listening to your own energy. You need to listen to your own body. I mean, there's times when I think, okay, peppermint for a headache, or, um, you know, we haven't had painkillers in our house for 6 years. Just
Mm.
don't need them. You know, there's times sometimes where you just got to drink a bit more water. You know, it's not always the fastest solution, but I think too, there's times when you just need to listen to your body. And I'll just go and grab an oil. I don't even know what it is. And I just think, okay, my body obviously needs that today. Or I play with it. I quite often, a couple of times a week, will get 3 oils out and I
Mm.
crack the lid. Dogs have an incredible sense of smell. So they have really high smell receptors, way more than we do. So I go and get 3 bottles. I'll just pick random 3 bottles and I crack the lids of all 3. And then I put them down, space them out about half a foot apart on the
Yeah.
step in our house. And Sarge comes up and he sniffs one, and then he sniffs the next one, he sniffs the next one, and then he'll sit and he'll point at one. And I put a dab of that on my hands and I rub it all over his fur, and that's his oil for the day. And it's
Wow.
it's fun. I'll let my dogs pick what oils they want, you know. It just That's a way of playing with them. It's just
Yeah.
mm,
Sarge is beautiful. What's his breed?
he's a purebred Rottweiler.
Yeah. 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 He's humongous. He's
Big,
like
big
the
puppy.
sergeant major rather than sergeant, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's just, well, that's a
very cute.
very clever.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's
So,
funny, they Young Living have an oil called Live with Passion. And when we first got Sarge, we got him at 10 months old, and he was very nervous, and he just quite anxious, very nervous, especially when people came. And I started playing with these oils to try and help him. And I sort of thought that peace and calming or stress away, which are brilliant for working with animals, would be his kind of go-to. And one day I just grabbed this Live with Passion oil, and that's his oil. He loved it. And I was like, oh, and it was almost like I got the sense that when I put that oil on him, he was so excited about being that he forgot about worrying what was going on around him. And when I have, like, we've got a concreter come into our house in a couple of weeks' time, I'll be putting that on him because it creates him in the moment, and he forgets about being worried about this weird dude with a funny hat on that's going to be. So, but that oil blew me away that he was so, it changed his personality. It turned him into a puppy. It was so
oh,
funny.
wow.
Yeah. And he
That's
picked up on
amazing.
it. Yeah.
All right. So, what about other products? So you've got, just thinking about things like deodorant, underarm deodorant, and shampoos and conditioners and toothpastes and things like that that we use every day.
Yeah.
How does that compare from a chemical perspective?
Oh. Um, so toothpaste and the cleaning product, the Thieves cleaning products. So yes, love the oils, but the Thieves cleaning product, the Thieves House toothpaste are the two I switched out first. So basically, I just looked at my house and went, okay, what do I use in this room? What can I switch out? Um, and we started in the kitchen because the Thieves cleaner does so much. It's window cleaner, it's degreaser, it just depending on the dilution rate. People talk about, is it Co? It's that water-based one, the
Oh, I don't
water-based kind of
know.
cleaner. Well, this is Thieves is so much better because it has a beautiful kind of, it's almost spicy, clovey
Mm.
kind of smell. It's very warm, beautiful, it's lovely. But the toothpaste, straight up there, $17 for a tube of toothpaste. Yeah, it's a bit expensive, but when you look at the products that are in our toothpaste, our Colgate toothpaste, the the things it does, the children's one especially, causes epilepsy, causes, oh, the list is this long of the, and
Really?
oh yes, Colgate do not care. They've, they just do not care. And it's really funny because on the tube it says, do not swallow. So they're saying that they don't care because this product has not been ingested. It's not been swallowed. Every child I know. And if you're about to have a heart attack, what do? They put something under your tongue because it's the fastest way to get it into your bloodstream, sublingual.
Yeah.
So when you're brushing your teeth and it's all sitting under your tongue, it's actually been absorbed straight into your bloodstream. Toothpaste, first thing I switched out, 100%.
Wow.
And I use it on my dogs. So
Oh, okay. So rather than getting doggy toothpaste, you use,
yeah, I use, yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
thieves one. Okay.
The ones, two of them have xylitol in it, so I don't use that because xylitol you can't give to dogs, but one of them doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. So
yeah.
which one doesn't?
Oh, pressing me now. I
Oh,
think
sorry.
it's
It is
Denver.
early.
Yeah, it is early.
Yeah.
I'd have to get back to you on that one.
Yeah, that's all right. No problem. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not complicated. There are ingredients listed.
Yeah, there are.
Mm,
Yeah, there are.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I've heard a lot about antiperspirant or deodorants.
yeah.
So what's your take on that?
That's my take on that. So Young Living make a range of deodorants, which I do use, but I actually use their toothpaste.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. So um, a pea-size amount of their toothpaste and a little bit under each. And I get very hot and sweaty grooming dogs. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
summer here it gets hot and sweaty. Yeah, I haven't had um, any issues. And even my husband does the same thing. So, yeah, it's
Oh,
just,
wow.
it allows the body to perspire. This
Yeah.
antiperspirant thing stops your body from perspiring. And our body is meant to perspire. It's a way of getting rid of toxins out of our body. Um, yeah, but the toothpaste does that too. So
Oh, wow.
just on a
I've never
side.
heard of that before.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah. I
Very
probably would
cool.
use toothpaste, you know, 5 days of the week and deodorant twice. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just mix it up. Hmm.
Mm.
Which
Okay.
one I grab first? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Mm.
Okay, so is Stress Away the one that you use the most? Like you've got a dog grooming, dog wash business
Yeah,
in Wodonga.
yeah,
Are you using the oils there?
100%. So in my shop, I use the Thieves Cleaner for everything. I even use it as the disinfectant.
Yeah.
We've got people around here using it in cafes. So when I was actively promoting the product, I had a couple of cafes that used Thieves Cleaner, and they said their health inspections were just brilliant. The
Oh,
people, yeah, so they were even passing the health inspections. So um, yeah, and Thieves is brilliant at cleaning. So I use Thieves undiluted in the dog grooming um, bath
yeah.
for each dog. It's a heck of a lot less toxic than it is than the actual disinfectants that people use because they're all bleach based. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just yeah. Anyway, so I use the Thieves Cleaner in the shop. I use it for the floors. I use it for my equipment when I'm cleaning all my equipment, my
Yeah.
blades, my scissors, and I use the diffusers right throughout the salon. I have 4 diffusers in my salon, and
Yeah,
I
right.
have yeah, depending on the dog. Purification is a great one for getting rid of smells. That's so cool. And actually, purification has side um, a side use of decreasing anger. So it's
Oh.
actually, yeah, if you've got a real shitty husband or something, or something is like not quite, teenagers, yeah, diffuse some purification. It's really heart centered in it, and it actually diffuses anger. So quite often when I've got a dog that's a little bit higher maintenance, a little bit high energy, I'll have purification in the grooming area
Yeah,
instead of
right.
just the actual salon itself. Yeah, peace and calm and stress away. And for dogs too, I quite often will have diffusers around, and if I know I've got a nervous dog coming, I put a drop of stress away on myself. So just
Yeah.
a drop on my hands, put it on my sort of on my chest or on my neck or something like that. And when I'm going to groom the dog, I'm like the diffuser, so they're
Yeah.
smelling it off me. So
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, because I guess you're in their space,
That's right.
and so you're creating that little bubble.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
And it's all about safety and security and, feeling good.
yeah. You have people come and work with you, and you're providing sort of it's a supported. Can you talk about that? Things I can't get my words out at the moment.
So previously we were dog grooming. I was dog grooming for 8 years and burnt myself out. So
Yeah,
sold the business, and then Jez and I, my husband and I, got into disability. So we created our own disability support business. So we did that. We've been doing that for 3 years. And about 8 months ago, I said to my husband, let's get back into the dogs, but then get people with a disability to come in and work with the animals. So we have a whole range of different people that work with us. We have people that just, with their hands get wet and furry, it puts them into an absolute meltdown. So they're the ones that color in and have with the dog on their lap, or they feed them treats or give them cuddles. We have people that come in and actively want to work and brush the dogs' tails and wash the dogs and dry the dogs and hand me tools and equipment. And some people, yeah, meet the clients and do the paperwork, or do the computer. It's really, really cool. And I think the way animals work and the way people with a disability are very similar. People with a disability can't always read social, facial cues or social, um, social cues, I suppose. They probably more read energy.
yeah.
This person's really grumpy today and this person's really happy today. So they read the energy, or so does an animal. And they read each other's energy. And it's so amazing to watch dogs that are a bit standoffish, or I'm just here on sufferance, at the grooming, and one of our clients will come in and sit on the floor, and this dog goes, oh, hello, goes up and sits on their lap and goes, oh yes, I'll yeah. Whereas you couldn't get anywhere near this dog 5 minutes ago, like it was just, yes, I'm just going to sit over here in my spot. But as soon as they see
Wow.
somebody coming in that they can read the energy of, or they meet their energy, they're very fluid, and it's very cool to watch. And I love every minute of it. And it's like the two best things of my world
Oh,
combined.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I've been watching Sud-Woofa's Facebook page and the photos
Yeah.
of, your people who are coming in and with the dogs. It's so gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Yeah.
love it. And I'm getting now to do their own little Facebook posts. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. Well, that's a good skill to have, isn't it?
Yeah, social media.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Beautiful.
Mm.
So, what else do we need to talk about? Sustainability. So, I mean, I'm not exactly a greenie, but I'm a bit of a permaculture girl, which
Yeah.
is part of the reason that I'm interested in this, no chemical thing, because I'm a bit anti um, glyphosate in the garden and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in terms of sustainability, Young Living, I mean, we're not doing a promo on Young Living. This is really about the oils themselves, but because we both use that particular brand, that's why I'm talking about it. Um, how do they handle sustainability, and what's their sort of position on that?
I really like the ethics of Young Living. So I think that's what sold me on that particular company. I think um, like Gary, when he was alive, had the most amazing ability to create some of the most beautiful blends, like Stress Away, that work really well. And as an aroma freedom practitioner as well, that works really well. So when I work with that, these oil blends are brilliant for doing that. They do what Gary intended. Sustainability is Young Living's um, ethics. They're all about it. Their farms are over 50 years organic. There's no such thing as, so their property that they use for their farms must be completely organic for over 50 years before they plant, or have been 50 years. Um, they do things too, like I went to Utah to see the lavender farm there. It was beautiful. And they talked about this, they made a corridor for the monarch butterfly. So this monarch butterfly travels through America, through all these different states. So Young Living actually went, and because of the you know, new people, the buildings and things like that, the monarch butterflies were losing their little corridor of um, flowers and plants that they needed. So Young Living went and tracked their journey and replanted from start to finish an entire corridor for the monarch butterflies over, I think it's a couple of miles wide or something like that. But yeah, over this whole path to maintain the, pathway for they do things like that. So they
That
do.
is pretty amazing.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Because we don't think about that. We put a highway through and then there's land over there and these creatures or animals don't have any way to traverse our man-made structures.
Yeah.
So they they're all about the universe and the world and being one with nature. And I just love that. And I think their ethics are just really cool. They they actually had a shortage of an oil. I'm trying to think which one it was, but because they didn't have trees planted, like the sandalwood tree has to be 90% dead. Other people will just chop a tree down. It's a sandalwood tree. Oh, it's chop it down. Gary's and Young Living's um, ethics are a tree must be 90% dead before they chop it down. So they've got to wait for these trees 30 years to grow and then to die before they can touch them. So
Wow.
yeah.
Not very corporate business like, is it?
No, but they do good. you know,
Yeah.
they've,
Wow.
they've got really cool planning. I'm probably my favorite oil is the Northern Lights black spruce. So just a little thing. If you ever go to Canada, you're allowed to help them harvest. So any person, whether you're a young living person or not, can just turn up at the door of the farm and just be escorted on, showing everything. It's complete transparency. There's no, oh, we can't. See, I spent probably in the first 6 months of being involved in oils ringing around and trying to find other places I could do that. Not one. Not one
Wow.
would let me on their property. Young Living is like, yeah, you turn up tomorrow. Like they open their doors, their distilleries, everything. Like, yeah, come and have a look. So they're very transparent. Um, but yes, yeah, so you can help harvest the things. So you can go up to northern Canada and in minus 40 degrees harvest the spruce trees because they're taken at winter when all the sap is in the tree.
Yeah.
So the dead of winter, they chop these trees down and then chop them all up and then take the oil. But the benefit they have is they have these spa baths. So when you're staying at their lodges, after you've chopped the trees down, you go and have a spa and then you lie down. The manager of the farm was telling me when you lie down at the end, you have a spa and you come back and you lie down in the windows and they get a cylinder of Northern Lights black spruce oil and they put it and they make a prism of it through the light through the window and they let that prism of light go all over your forehead. And he said it's not like a prism, it recreates the Northern Lights. So the sunlight coming through the Northern Lights black spruce oil recreates the Northern Lights. How trippy is that?
Oh my God.
I so want to
Oh
go.
yeah, that sounds,
It's worth the minus 40 degrees, I reckon.
I'd reckon.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is incredible.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? But yes, he told me all about his sustainable farming and how they grow the trees in stages so that it took them 15 years to set up the Northern Lights, the black spruce farm, because they had to progressively plant. Yeah. Mm,
Wow.
mm.
It's I've looked at some of the blends that Gary Young created, and I have a real sense that I would call it channeled them, but I know he's quite religious. He had a different wording for it.
Yeah.
But my sense is that these were really basically
Divine,
God or God given.
divine recipes. I do too. And I
Mm.
got that. the first time I really kind of smelt the oils, I felt like I'd come home. My soul connected to it. It was just,
Yeah.
yeah, this is actually God in a bottle. And I think he used to refer to that as basic. This is, God on earth. How
Mm.
and and they should be very proud of their product because everything is done from seed to seal. Everything is done with complete care and consideration and respect, and not just of the oils like the monarch butterflies and the
Yeah.
birds are saving, and they just, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it's
Yeah, very, very interesting. It seems like I remember years ago, I think listening to an interview and hearing them talk about, hunting and filling their freezer with meat that they'd, basically wild harvested, eating from their garden in season. And those things just really spoke to me. I
yeah,
just thought these people are living close to the earth. They
yeah,
get what they're doing.
yeah.
Mm. It's really good.
Mm,
Very, very good. Now, one last thing, if I may.
yeah,
I hear a lot of people, I mean, especially now, people are all about, um, cost, the the cost of living crisis that we're in. And I guess oils are not cheap because they're valuable. They cost money to produce and the time, like you're talking about.
yeah.
So how do you deal with that initial outlay? Like, what's your headspace around all of that?
I, I have oils here, like, and a fair few of them. That's an 8-year collection. This is not, you don't have to go out and buy one of everything in the first 4 minutes. I think you start small and you just start by swapping a few things out. Our cleaning product, like the Thieves Cleaner, I think it's $42 for a 500 ml bottle, but that makes over, I think, 80 bottles of cleaner. Like, it's it works out to be something like $1.10 for a bottle of spray and wipe with no chemical synthetic ick in it at all. I can
Mm.
literally spray my bench and lick it if I so chose. You can, I mean, so I'm keeping everybody safe for less than a bottle of spray and wipe at the supermarket. I
Yeah.
know it cost me $40 originally, and it's everything. It's the best window cleaner. Anyway, so that is cheaper in the long run. It's just,
Mm.
and my health, the amount of money I've spent on my health, it saves me so much money in that respect. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, the other thing I think too is I have a choice. I can buy a bottle of peppermint oil for $20 from Young Living, and I have to wait 3 or 4 days for it to get delivered because they send it from the head office. But or I can go to Kmart and buy a bottle of peppermint oil for $3. The difference with that is essential oils are such tiny, tiny little molecules that they get in past the blood-brain barrier. So they're one of the very few things. There's actually a brain doctor in Sydney that's working with essential oils to get into the brain. So
Wow.
essential oil molecules, tiny wee, can pass the blood-brain barrier. If you're going to go and buy a $3 bottle of peppermint oil from Kmart, that will have a percentage of essential oil in there, what it's doing is the tiny, tiny little micro portion of essential oil in that peppermint body oil is now going to drag all those synthetic products that it's snuggled up to in that bottle, and it's dragging them past your blood brain barrier. So
Mm.
I have a real fear of using anything that says it's essential oils when it's synthetic, because the essential oils work because they get past that blood brain barrier, they get deep into our cells, and then the body is allowed to work from them from there. If you've got essential oils, the air glade essential oils, whatever, that have been mixed with synthetics, They are using it is going to get the essential oil molecule and drag those synthetics into your body. I avoid them like the plague. I
Mm,
just, I have a real fear of that because I know how essential oils work and why they work. And they work because they get so deep within our cells, you know, and
mm,
I don't want them dragging no junk with them. I
yeah,
that's my bottom line.
yeah,
If I'm gonna use the goodness of that, it's gonna be nothing but goodness. Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm really
It's been
pleased
a
that we've
good
had
chat.
this chat. It's actually been really fun.
Yeah.
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 So maybe I can see your cat in the background, just in the corner of the screen.
Oh yes.
All right, we'll get on with our day. Thanks so much for your time.
That's all right.
Maybe we'll see you another day.
Yes.
All right, beautiful. Thanks so much.